Hey guys, welcome back to P&W Guitar again, and today we are going to be talking about some of the news from this year's NAMM show. This is not an event that I go to. I'm not a part of the community that goes to these shows. I'm not an artist or anything like that that represents any of these companies. I'm just a guy that plays, and I'm very interested in what they're doing. So, as you can see here, we've got the NAMM show 2024. I'm on Music Radar right now. We're going to look through some of the top things that have been released, and we will see what is going on in the world of electric guitar, sound and music. Looks like there's a lot of keyboards, new HS3 and 4 monitors from Yamaha. Those are good studio monitors. I imagine you'd have to pair the smaller ones with the subwoofer if you want to get the most out of them. Steinberg's got a new interface, lots of that kind of stuff. Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. So, Epiphone is going to be releasing the Dave Grohl DG335, which is basically his signature guitar, the Trini Lopez that he plays in the pale and blue. It's about time. I can't believe that they haven't done this already. That's going to be a really top-selling guitar, I can imagine. I think this is just a better Epiphone ES335. I think the diamond holes just look cool. If you like the Foo Fighters, then obviously this is going to be something that you might gravitate towards. The pale and blue color looks sick. And also, the headstock, I mean, much cooler looking than your classic looking. Might not be for everybody, but I think it kind of looks cool. Sort of looks like a sickle or something. I don't know. I think it's sick. Wouldn't be surprised to see a red one come out in the future, or maybe a different color. But for now, this is what we're getting, and it's pretty cool. This I made a video about already. I will link this in the description below, talking about my first impression of the new Schecter. This is the Machine Gun Kelly signature razor blade guitar. I was pretty critical of it in the beginning just because of the look of it. I think that it was mostly a marketing thing, which, you know, Machine Gun Kelly is more in the rap world, but he's also crossing over into the punk pop world and rock world. And I think a guitar like this just helps him get more attention, which is exactly on brand for him. So it's a Schecter US made guitar from the sounds of it, or maybe it's in South Korea. I don't know. It's about $1,500 to $2,000, so I'm going to assume it's probably the South Korean one. But regardless, Schecter makes it. It's got USA pickup in it. It's got good hardware. It's got good quality stuff it's made out of. It's probably a good guitar. I wouldn't play it. Looks a little cheesy to me, but you guys let me know what you think. Maybe if Dimebag back in the day had made that, people would think it was cool. Alex Lifeson unites with Godin to channel and evolve his Hentor Sportscaster with the new signature Limelight guitar. This is actually a big deal because Godin is a Canadian company that does not get a lot of spotlight outside of their multi-act nylon strings, which are very, very like kind of futuristic nylon string guitars, really well made. They're from Quebec. The fact that they're working with Alex Lifeson, who is one of the biggest Canadian rock superstars of all time, makes sense to me. It's an HSS Strat. I don't know what's different about it outside of that, but it looks pretty cool. If I get a chance to check one out at some point, I will do that. Looks like the Strat is turning 70 this year. It's going to town on the Strat 70th birthday. New models available now. I did see a new Nebula Noir finish, which is like a black sparkle, which is really pretty. Looks like that is the Mexican-made player model, so that's cool. Standard spec player and Pro 2 models with Anniversary 2 color sunburst. It sounds pretty awesome. Seems like Fender's playing it pretty safe this year. Anniversary models, stuff like that, they're always going to sell well. I don't even know how many Strats Fender has on their website, but last time I checked, it was like 5 or 6 pages of very much the same Strats with very, very minor differences. You know, a Strat's a Strat. I've actually been looking at G&L a lot lately because I think some of their stuff is actually quite cool, and it's a bit new to me. But yeah, this Nebula finish, if you like a black Strat, that's a really sick looking thing. American Professional 2 Strat. It's about $24.99. Okay, like 2,000 US, so that's probably closer to 3,000 Canadian. Flame top. Looks nice. Gretsch is coming out with some new stuff. It looks like they've got some more baritones. That was pretty cool from last year, so I'm more interested to see what they do with that. EVH is bringing back a pair of Van Halen's cult classic guitars. So they're bringing back the Shark, which is a very particular guitar some people will like and a lot of people will hate. But it's EVH. And then you've got, what is that, the Unchained guitar? Yeah. So the black and white stripe. I always thought that one actually looked really cool. Outside of the Bumblebee guitar, I think that's probably his coolest looking one. The red, black, and yellow is, or red, black, and white, obviously, this is what most well-known one, the Frankenstrat, but those are going to be cool, and I'm sure they'll sell well. Outside of the amps, like the 5150s, excuse me, I think EVH's biggest business is just cashing in on the fact that people want to own guitars that Eddie played, so, and not actually played, but models that are based off of ones he played, so that's cool. Charvel are including some very shred-tastic models here from the looks of it. I've never played a Charvel I didn't like in any price range, to be totally honest with you. And if you're looking for a very kind of retro mod, might want to call it, style of guitar, I think Charvel is one of the best options you have, especially for the price. They do roasted maple necks and fretboards. They've got really good stuff in those, good pickups, good quality parts. Why I don't own one, I don't know. I probably should, but how many guitars does any person need? So it looks like Yamaha is upgrading its Pacifica range, which is probably good because the Rev Stars were doing well last year, and I think that was something that they needed to improve on and kind of focus on guitar players a bit more to try and get people playing these, and honestly, Pacificas have always been awesome. So, yeah, we'll see what they end up doing with these. What is this here? Jackson launches 4 concept series shred machines for the discerning metal public. So they've got the Randy Rhoads style V, or the Alexi Alejo V, depending on who you talk to. Looks like the Kelly is back. It's got some cuts out of it. I don't know what that's about. And then we've got kind of this Strat-shaped guitar with a yellow or green pickup and a Floyd. And then it looks like, what is that, like an 8 or a 9 string. I mean, Jackson makes good stuff. I've never been the biggest fan of their guitars, to be totally honest, but I've also not played a lot of the guitars. If I'm looking for something metal, I usually gravitate towards ESP, but I'm interested to see how those end up going, and I'm sure their top-end stuff is going to be really nice. Acoustics don't mean a whole lot to me, so I'm going to skip past those. Gibson unveils the Murphy Lab replica of Kirk Hammett's 89 Les Paul Custom. I'm sure that'll be another greenie, basically, so they're going to come up with that. It's going to be very expensive. It's probably going to sell a bunch because people, when it comes to Gibson, the collectors are pretty crazy, and they like to go all in on that. Jack White says build your own fuzz box as Third Man launches the new $75 Fuzzatron, a basic no-fail DIY guitar pedal kit. That feels like a reaction to the JHS Nauticalon, and I don't hate it. I think it's cool. I think if, putting your own shit together is pretty fun, and if you can get a cheap pedal that you can put together yourself, I like it. I think it's interesting. Gibson, broken cover with the return of its amp division. Its 60s Falcon combo flies again with the Randall Smith design 20 and 5-watt Falcon tube amps. I think Rhett Shull was talking about this in the last year, that Gibson should re-release tube amps. Now they have. Interested to see how they sound. I'm sure they'll be kind of retro from the look of it and probably sound that way as well. Probably some kind of old school rock and roll sounding stuff. Looks like that's the majority of what's going on here. There's a lot of pedal and kind of audio stuff. His new Sam's amp, I did hear about that. Badwater bass preamp. Way Huge brings back the Geisha drive. That'll be cool. Moore is releasing some pretty interesting stuff. Moore actually makes some really cool stuff, including all-in-one boards similar to a Helix. Check those out if you haven't. I've never tried one of these Vox or Marshall like plug-in and play little, I call them like belt clip amps, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. You plug it straight into your guitar and it has a little speaker in it that you can play out of. Never tried one. If you guys have, let me know what you think of them. I'm sure they sound as small as they look, but, maybe they'd be good for practicing. I'm not entirely sure. Clava, new Nord keyboard, interesting. Not super into the keyboards. And it looks like Prince's last Yamaha piano that he played on stage was presented at the NAMM show. That's pretty cool. I'm also going to jump over to Guitar World here, see if anything else interesting comes up. I know Cream guitars, very cool. Looks like they're rhinestone or pebble covered. Miniature skulls. That's actually pretty sick. It looks kind of, I was going to say it reminds me a lot of like a Day of the Dead kind of guitar, so that's pretty sick. New Northern Lights finish for the Petrucci guitars. Nice. Big Puff. What is this? Acorn amps. Where did that go? Some kind of a pedal. Looks like it's got cigarettes in it. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, interesting. Jared James Nichols was there. These are probably not Fenders, but they look like Jazzmasters. That's cool. Always a big fan of the offsets. There's the Machine Gun Kelly guitar in person. Looks like that black stripe down the middle is actually a pick guard, which is interesting. Valhalla amps. Looks awesome. More acoustics. Got some pedals. What is this here? Headless. Is this a Strandberg? The most affordable Strandberg yet. $9.99 for a headless guitar. If you're into the ergonomic thing, which perhaps you should be because it doesn't hurt to not hurt yourself while you're playing guitar, posture-wise and all of that, and you like headless guitars, that's a really good thing for people who are trying to get into that. Looks like I've heard that Dean is upgrading a lot of their stuff and going to be releasing more. Buddy from Blackstone Cherry, Chris Robertson, is... I don't know why it keeps jumping to the top of the page. He has a new signature Chapman. It looks like a Telly. It's white and gold, and it looks pretty sick. I'm going to try and get back to that here. Reverse headstock. Nice looking guitar. Like it. Demorzio's got... what, their own signature beer now. Interesting. Game Changer Audio is doing some stuff. Probably changing the game. On stage. That is an interesting piece. Guitar workstation. So it holds pedals and an amp. Interesting. I don't know what the use case is for that, but looks like it might go into your desk, so that's sort of interesting. Dan Electro is coming out with some hollow bodies. Lipstick pickups. Are those baritones? It doesn't say if it's a baritone, but hardboard splash spruce. I almost thought that said cardboard, and I was like, oh, tell me we're not doing cardboard guitars now. Okay, this is driving me crazy. This keeps reloading at the top of my page for some reason. Anyway, there was a little pedal. I don't know what that was about. It sort of looked like a tuner. Where did it go? Around here. Anyways, Cola. Okay. Oh, Chips and Strikes with their puzzle piece guitars. If you're in a band with two guitars, get two puzzle piece guitars and do this exact pose on stage. It's a fun time. It's interesting that they would do that. Looks like this Fender. It's got a Bigsby with a weird whammy bar and 3 humbuckers. Pretty interesting. Oh, it's one of Jack White's touring guitars. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. Full Tone's back. Jackson Audio has licensed the brand, so those CDs are back out, which means you don't have to overpay for the used ones anymore. John Petrucci was there, obviously. That's not surprising. Cream Guitars is coming out in full force with some very odd kind of reverse offset guitars. These are looking quite interesting, actually. I'd like to check those out. Looks like Tomo is there. Sorry, guys. I don't know why this keeps reloading over and over and over and over again. What is this here? Gripping guitars. Interesting. The classic PV Vandenberg is back. Nice. I don't know anything about that guitar, but looks pretty cool, to be totally honest. Eastman. That kind of looks like a Telly pickup design with a Talman body, sort of, is what it looks like to me. Yamaha's new high-priced Pacifica range. I thought so when I saw the pictures on the other page. These definitely look higher end. That's going to be interesting. That's kind of them taking a shot at Fender, which is interesting. The S100 Polera in yellow and red. Those are cool. I like those. Billy Corgan's fourth signature with Reverend. I've played a couple Reverends. The Jetstream's a pretty cool guitar. I've not played Billy Corgan's guitars. They look fine. I don't know. Doesn't do anything for me. I don't know about you guys. Magnatone. Bloody hell. This is the last time, I swear to God. I was going to say, I saw a Magnatone / amplifier. I know that he left Marshall. That was really big news this year. So, signature / amp, not surprising. He also put out a video talking about his new album with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators. I imagine he was using this amp for that. Looks pretty cool. Sounds like Slash. It's probably based on a Marshall. To be fair, he played Marshall for his entire career up to this point. New Vox. I think they're doing new hand-wired AC30s and AC15s, which is awesome. Alejandro Ramirez with his Ascension guitar, also interesting. Boss is doing some stuff. Oh, okay, I did see this. The LTD Royal Shiva, Bill Kelleher's new signature. This is a very familiar body shape for, I want to say Yamaha had something like this in the past, if I'm remembering correctly. But obviously LTD's doing this. It's Silver Burst. It looks sick. Bill Kelleher always does Silver Burst. His Silver Burst VU was one of my favorite Epiphones I've ever seen. Would have loved to have got one. They're really expensive these days. Once again, my page keeps just reloading and reloading and reloading. Why is it doing this? Oh, maybe I jumped all the way to the bottom this time because I was anticipating. Okay. OD guitars, a lot of woodworking. That's interesting. I've seen stuff like that before. Ivan has re-released the Iceman. Fucking love the Iceman. Not because of Paul Stanley, who is the main person people tend to mention when it comes to the Iceman. I'm actually a big Darren Malakian fan from System of a Down, and he played an Iceman, so they're sick. I love those. Rabeer's got his signature Music Man Saber. The Saber's my favorite Music Man guitar, so I'm fucking pumped to see that. Would love to own one of those. I don't know how expensive they're going to be, but I would love to try and pick one up. That's the Alex Lifeson guitar with Godan. That's pretty sick. Double Anniversary Big Muff. Looks like it's made of gold. Interesting. New Tim Henson signature guitar colors. What else do we have going on? It looks like that's pretty much it for NAMM, guys. So if you're interested in what's been going on in the world of guitar, please comment, like, subscribe, come back to our channel. We do all kinds of shit here. So if you guys are interested, come back, like and subscribe to P&W Guitar. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers. And once we hit our 500 subscriber mark, we are going to be giving away this here Wampler Tumnus Deluxe. It is a wonderful overdrive pedal, very similar to a Klon, with an extra gain preamp boost stage in there. So if you guys comment, like, subscribe, once we hit 500 subs, we're going to be giving that away. So join us again next week, and until then, I have been Mason, this is P&W Guitar, and I will catch you guys next time. What?